Good evening everyone and welcome to my channel. Now, what do we do with the overripe bananas that we have in our house? We normally bake a banana cake and it happens to be one of my favorites. So today I'm trying to work out a banana cake recipe before you and with some more innovations. Let's see how it comes out to be. Here I have used 3 overripe bananas which I've smashed and kept it with a fork. I've smashed and kept it here. I have used it's a half a cup of sugar, normal sugar that we have. 1/4 cup of dahi or the curd. I had taken out the water, excess water, though still there's some remaining. There's no problem with it anyway. And just to make the cake a little richer, I have used around 3 tablespoons of butter this time. Normally I do not use butter, but butter and bananas and cinnamon go together very well. So what I've tried to do is that I have tried to use a little butter this time in place of oil. You can use oil if you want, but sometimes I think you can always try and find an excuse to be good to yourself and have some butter. So, and apart from these ingredients, the wet ingredients which are going on into the mixie for a nice whisk, we'll also need some other ingredients like I will need 1 cup of flour. I'll need a pinch, so it's 1/4 teaspoons of salt. This is again 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and just to try it out this time I have taken some cubes of Cadbury's dairy milk and also some chocolate chips and of course some raisins. Let me try and use them and let's see how it comes out to be. And of course for a twist I'm trying to use say 2 teaspoons of Nescafe coffee. So let's see how it goes out. Coffee, the taste of coffee, then we have cinnamon, then we have butter, and we have the main ingredient, overripe bananas. So let's get going. But before we start off, I think we should do one thing. What is it? Just preheat the oven to 180 degrees centigrade for 10 minutes. So I'm preheating the oven to 10 minutes at 180 degrees centigrade, and I hope by that time everything will be done and we'll get ready for the the cake to be inside the oven. First thing first, we have to blend all of them. That is the bananas, the 1/4 cup of curd, 1/4 cup of sugar. Then this is 3 tablespoons of the the butter. So first of all, we'll give this rich mixture a nice whisk. So after a nice whisk, we have a homogeneous mixture that we'll put it into the mixing bowl. Okay, so we'll try and scrape out everything that's inside. We do not want to lose anything. So we'll scrape out everything that's there. Okay, not much though, right? So this is ready. Now we need to do something else. We need to give a nice sieve 3 times at least to the dry ingredients. These are the dry ingredients. We'll put them together, and of course the special thing, the Nescafe coffee, and let's see how it goes. So now we'll whisk all these dry ingredients, sieve all the dry ingredients together. The first the flour, then one by one all of them here, and then give it a nice sieve. This is very important. You cannot skip this particular step because otherwise it will not be as spongy and soft as it should be. So this we'll do it for another 2 more times. So this is the 3rd time I'm giving it a nice sieve, and I've also used the Nescafe coffee, 2 teaspoons almost, And then of course most of it is left behind and it's not going inside because there we have granules there. No problem, because it's like it's like an experiment. I hope it turns out good. And now we are going to whisk put it into the batter and try to mix it up. As I always tell, we just need to do it on one side. We cannot crisscross. We just need to do the folding in of the flour and cutting, folding and cutting, folding and cutting, this way. So the next batch will go on now. Alright, and one more and it will be done. So we are folding it slowly, the air inside, and then it's giving out a nice flavor, the mixing of the cinnamon powder, the coffee powder and the bananas. You can well imagine how beautifully aromatic my atmosphere is now. And if it once goes into baking, you can imagine how tasty it will be. See, this particular cake batter is of course a little thick. Okay, so no problem with that. Just like every cake batter is different. And now we want to put in the other things that are remaining, like the chocolate chips. A lot of them goes in. And since we have a kid at home, the more the better, the more the merrier, right? The more the tastier in this case. Okay, so here we have the batter that's turning into a beautiful light brown color. I think it's a merging of the color of the cocoa powder, the coffee powder. And now one little trick, we have the raisins. If we put the raisins like this directly into the batter, what will happen is that it will sink down once it starts baking. So the trick is very simple. We take it out, we mix it with some flour, and along with the flour mixture, we are putting it into the batter. That way, your raisins will not fall down. Your raisins will not, sink down. And so that goes. Right. So we have a nice mixture there. And then it's ready to go into the oven. And it's important that we do not keep the batter for long. Once it's done, it should be inside the oven and baking itself, because a lot of reactions happen, I guess, inside, right? So let's see how it goes. We have this time taken a container or a baking container, which is the shape of a loaf of bread. So let's put it inside the container. We have normally, I hope you know it, or we all know it, that we need to grease it properly so that the cake comes out. We can demold the cake very soon after the baking. What I have done here is that also used butter paper to make my life easier. Alright, because it's the worst thing to see your cake stuck to the bottom of the can, and then you're trying to demold it and you have this black layer there. It's really it's heart-rending. So what I've done, I normally do it very, very carefully. Yes, and here I will just put half the mixture into the baking, the container there, and spread it out. So I have just put half the mixture here, batter, and then I will line it with my cubes of Cadbury's. Let's see how it turns out to be. You never know how it will be, but we're just trying it out. And it's always good to experiment. Anyway, the cake will taste as good. It is another thing, we never know what will happen to the pieces of cake, the chocolate there. Yes, but might be they will give out their own flavor to my cake. Okay. So we try to put everything, all of the batter inside, and then try to even it out like this. Okay, it's a thick batter, so I think the mold is a little bigger, but no problem. I'm giving it all the space to really rise up. Let's see how far it rises to my expectation. So this is how it goes. All of it down there. right? Yes. And then we will try to level it and give 3 shakes as I normally do. 1, 2 and 3. So we have all the air that was inside come out, and now it's ready to go into the oven. And my oven, as you can see, is already preheated and ready to accept my cake. I put the cake into the preheated oven at 180 degree, and now I'm going to bake it for 35 minutes. In between, of course, we need to check with a skewer. If its skewer comes out very clearly, then we're done. But at present, I'm putting it for 35 minutes at 180 degrees centigrade, and we'll wait for the cake to rise and mix in all its beautiful flavors. So it's been 35 minutes. Now let's check. In between I had checked, but still, now the skewer goes in and comes out clear. It's done. My cake is done and ready to be out of the oven. So the cake is out of the oven and it has come out beautifully. Look at the texture and look at how spongy it is. So we will not demold it now. We have to wait for some time till it gets completely cooled, and we overturn the the container and we'll demold it. Hope the taste also is as good as it looks. Look, see how beautifully these are out, and we have even texture there. We'll wait for the cake to get cooled. So now we'll try to demold it. Let's see if it comes out this way. Oh, see the way it came out. It's so beautifully. Look at the beautifully out, and look at the texture there. See, we have those dots of the chocolate chips there, and then we can invert it once again, and then this is the perfect cake that you have. So this is my, I guess it's successful, my trying out and experimenting with a new way of trying to have the banana cake, Dahi banana cake eggless. Let me first just check out how the taste of the cake piece will be. So we have the layers here of the Cadbury, and then we have the chips there, chocolate chips there, and then the raisins inside. Necessarily, it's really tasty. I just tasted a bit, and then I am so happy it came out so well. I want you all to try this particular recipe out, and if you like it, do give a thumbs up and do subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you.